Again, I'll wake up my laptop, which has gone to sleep very conveniently. Just 1 second. So in keeping with the theme that we have today, which is I will talk very little because I know this is already a little bit late. You want to get cranking really quick. A lot of you already know how to code on Windows Phone, and Facebook. So you are eager to get started? All right. So let's start the presentation. And I'll skip over the presentation really quick so I can show you a little bit of code. And it's coming up. It's thinking. What just happened here? 1 second. OK, should be up. OK, so the hackathon is Facebook, Microsoft. So obviously, you can expect you are building Windows and Windows Phone applications. And this is a quick update on where Windows Phone exists. At this point of time, Windows and Windows Phone are at a place where literally opportunity is knocking. And this is not just marketing talk. I was at GDC Next, and I sat with a panel of people. And the panel was being run by All Things D, which is actually quite reputable. And they had 3 people who had 3 companies that had built apps for Microsoft. Oh, sorry, I should say Microsoft, Windows, and Windows Phone. And it was a pretty brutal panel. I mean, they were asking questions, and the responses sometimes were not very favorable to Microsoft and so on. But one of the guys said something that really, really struck me. And what he said was, hey, I already see that in Windows 8 timeframe and the previous version, like a couple of years down Windows Phone line, the reach was not that great. People were still buying these devices, and things were still being hashed out and so on. And it was a hard time. But at this point of time, we are seeing a very, very fast growth. And what we are realizing is that in the next 3 to 6 months, and they use this word very, very carefully. A couple of people, like 3 of them, all of them said the same thing. Within 3 to 6 months, we expect one of the guys or someone is going to come up and say, hey, I just made $1 million off of Windows and Windows Phone. And suddenly, there will be a deluge of developers running towards this platform because it is still growing. There is a chance for you to go and actually have your app shine. It is not overcrowded like the other platforms. So literally, the opportunity is here, and it's knocking at your door, and it's your choice whether you take it or not. A little bit dated slides, but there are a lot of numbers. Like Windows has over 100 million licenses sold. This was like a couple of months back already. Over 250 million app downloads. And this is the key thing. Over 90% of the app catalog on Windows and Windows Phone is actually downloaded. If you compare statistics, and this is like, don't quote me on this, but I have heard on other platforms sometimes like 70% of the catalog has not been downloaded one single time. The app has not been downloaded one single time. And compare that, here you have 90% of the apps have been downloaded. So it's great. Now, Windows Phone platform, right? I mean, you can see this graph here at the bottom. It's almost like near exponential growth. Things are growing really, really quickly. We have paid out a ton of money. Like, you just look at the numbers, like 79,000 applications just on Windows Phone 8. More than that, a lot more on Windows Phone 7. 123,000 developers, 174% increase in monthly paid revenue, right? A 218% increase in monthly download volume, and so on and so forth. The 2 billionth download happened on August of 6th. So overall, it says that the marketplace is growing really, really fast. It's time to get in now. OK, let me just walk through the animation. And here is the key thing that you can count on when you are developing for Windows or Windows Phone, actually. Windows Phone, just look at the price points. You go all the way. Like, this price used to be $99 for the Lumia 520. No contract. You walk in a store, you buy the phone, you walk out, you never had a contract. And at this point of time, this exact same phone is available for $59, no contract. And it is a very, very quality phone. It is the fastest growing smartphone on the freaking platform. The entire, actually, I believe in Europe it's almost like 10%. In Mexico it's 30% market share, and it's growing like crazy. So the reach of this phone is insane. Speaks for itself. And then on the high end, it's not just the low end phones. It's actually the high end phones too. 41 megapixel. That is unheard of in the entire industry. We have all the phones from the low end to the high end. They all run the exact same OS. There is no fragmentation. You get access to the same APIs. We guarantee that certain functionality will be available all the way from the low end to the high end. So you don't have to test on all sort of hardwares. So again, development-wise, your cost is very little when it comes to Windows Phone form. Windows devices, again, this is something that has not been present in the industry at all in any place. You have an operating system that runs the exact same on a tablet as on a proper desktop. You write once, and you have the reach everywhere. You can target the consumers, and you can target the enterprises with one single app. Not only that, we have actually gone ahead and made sure with our APIs and so on that they work the same on the desktop as well as on a tablet. So you literally have to write the code once, and it works everywhere else. And let me see. There's a humorous anecdote I want to actually point out here. I shouldn't say anecdote. Actually, this is research published on Windows Pages. We claim that Metro, or I should say Windows Store, actually style UI. This is built as a touch first. The entire new Windows interface is touch first. And when we say touch first, what do you mean? We actually went on ahead, Microsoft actually went on ahead and just measured the fingertips of people. Babies have fingertips of about 5 millimeter. And then there are people who have fingertips like NBA players and so on. Can you guess like what their fingertip width is? It's like 19 millimeters, 2 centimeters. That's huge. And all these people are expecting you to use the same phones, the same tablets, and so on. How do you actually create a UI, a paradigm that scales across all of these? So we did all the research, and actually we built Windows 8 according to those paradigms. And I will come to some of the slides later on. There are a couple of Windows 8 features that really, really shine. For example, the start screen. The start screen is live, as in you don't have static icons. There are what we call tiles, and tiles actually can contain any information that you want. You want to say, let's say if you have a sports app, you can say, I want to show who won against who in football. You can actually surface that information. The user doesn't even have to get inside your app. The information is right there, right in front. So that is amazing. We have this thing called share charm. So without doing a lot of extra work, you can share from one app to another app. And not just a particular app, any app. Any app that supports a share accept will be able to do that. We have search so that if the user actually tries to search something in the OS, if your app supports search, the OS will automatically surface it up saying this app supports search. You will not have to say, oh, I have to go and make a contract with so-and-so app to show up in the results. If you support search, the OS will automatically surface it. We have various window sizes. Like if you see there on the top little screenshot there are tiny icons, there are big icons. The user, if they love your app, they will make it big. If they don't love your app, or maybe it is utility app that they use once and often, they will make it small. For example, the Facebook app on Windows 8, I love it. I mean, I give it the biggest size style. It surfaces really pleasant images. Like I don't even have to enter. If someone posts a message, it's right up there. I know when to enter, and if I don't need to, I don't need to. It's a true multitasking OS. It is the same Windows under the hood, so it can do that. Then it has built-in Windows Store, so every single device, whether it's enterprise or household, they all have the same Windows Store. And let's move on. The last thing, we know that in Windows 8, a bunch of things didn't work very well, so we went on ahead and actually made Windows 8.1 free for everyone. You can upgrade for free if you had Windows 8. OK. Last thing I quickly want to touch upon is the Windows Store. Windows Store, since you are all developers and you're thinking of making money, I'll come straight to the point. Windows Store at this point of time offers you the best opportunity of making money. I already talked to you about the reach and so on. The one key differentiator is the bottom box, like the bottom middle box, which says, right now, if you go to any store, you get 70% of the revenue. If you get $1 from the customer, Apple or Android will keep 30 cents, and you get 70 cents. Windows does the same. Microsoft does the same. What's the difference? Once you hit $25,000, Microsoft will reduce its cut to 20%. So you actually get 80% of the proceeds, which is, again, huge. If you have like large numbers, that is a big number, 10% up. Not only that, this is another thing. If you really don't want Microsoft to actually get any cut, if you want all of the money to be for yourself, Microsoft actually allows you to use any payment platform that you use. If you don't want to pay via Microsoft, you can actually put a PayPal integration in your app. If you want to use Alipay, if you want to use any own, if you want to roll up your own, that's fine with us too. So that way, you get to decide exactly what you will keep. And this is unheard of. It is not available on any other platform. Usually, you will have to go through whatever the platform provides. OK, now I'm going to just quickly, oops, sorry, one back. This is a very, very key slide here. Microsoft realizes that not all people are experts in all the technologies. We know that there are JavaScript people who are just JavaScript gurus. They can do amazing things with JavaScript. And then there are people who do C#, and there are gurus with C#, and there are people who just love C++, although small minority. But there are people who love C++. So we made sure that we developed our platform in such a way that all the APIs, every single API for Windows Store is available the exact same way, whether you use JavaScript or C# or C++. This is, again, you can't have this on any other platform. If you want to use a sensor, you can use it from JavaScript. If you want to use networking APIs, you can use them from JavaScript. If you want to do whatever you want to do, you can do it from JavaScript or C# or C++ the exact same way, no difference. OK, so I guess the only key thing I will point out here is when developing Windows 8, we realized a lot of people actually end up making bad decisions when developing applications, which make their applications slow. So what we came up with is called an async development paradigm, which is like if you want to do anything, you don't block on that. You say, I am going to start a file read, but I'm not going to wait on it. When the file read finishes, call me back. We fitted this in the entire system. It's impossible to make any blocking call using the system unless you do it async ways. So you have to work really, really hard if you want to make an experience where things actually block. If you actually want to make an experience where things stutter and stop, it's just almost impossible. So we made it really easy for you to create really good apps. OK, skip over this, skip over this. I think I'm running a little bit. OK, no, go back here. And the partner ecosystem is really, really catching on, right? So we have Hydra, we have Push.io, we have Buddy, we have Parse, we have Urban Airship. All these partners are already on the platform. The partners that are used to seeing on the other platforms, they're here, so you can go ahead and integrate with them. These are all available on services.windowsstore.com. Courtesy one of my colleagues, Ashwin there. He works really hard at this. And then the same on Windows Phone. The URL is there. You can go to that website and look at the partners that are available. The developer resources are at one single URL called dev.microsoft.com. Go there, check it out. OK, this is what you had been waiting for. Official rules for the hackathon. And we didn't want to have it, but our lawyers actually made us put the slide up here. Rules. You can form teams. You don't need to form teams, but you can form teams. You can have at most 3 people per team. We will give out prizes, first, second, and third. And every person in a team will get a prize. So up to 3, every person gets 1 prize. OK? You have to be ready to present, and you have to be physically present in the room when the prizes are being given out to actually get the prizes. The presentations for your whatever you build start at 2 p.m. Tomorrow. The full set of rules, if you really are interested, are present at the registration desk. They are usual common sense rules. Nothing draconian there. One key thing, government employees are not eligible. That is, again, don't ask me why, but government employees are not eligible. Microsoft employees and their immediate families, they are not eligible. And last thing, if you enter the contest, you abide by the rules. And the rules are actually pretty straightforward. I mean, just make sure you are working in teams of 3 or lesser, and that's it. Prizes. The grand prize is everyone in the first team will get Xbox One with accessories. The second prizes are basically every person in the team will get this. What's this called? Dell Venue Pro, 64 gigs. This is a really sweet device, very highly rated on Amazon, so on. Runs 32-bit Windows 8 so that you can run whatever you want. It's not locked down like ARM. You can install your legacy apps and so on. Really beautiful device. You have to actually hold it in your hand to realize how good it is. I have heard from people saying, I can trade my desktop for this because I have a tablet, and when I really need to hook it up to a full-on thing, full-on whatever, I can do that. So again, 3, 3, and 3 you can have. So if you want to form teams and so on, go on ahead after this and start coding. OK. Now I will get to a quick demo, and then we will let you start getting cranked up. Okay, so for people who haven't built on, let's say, Windows and Windows Phone, I will very quickly show something saying how easy it is to build a JavaScript application in Windows 8. Like if all you know is how to build a website, you are in just the right place. Oh, sorry, but for the rules, one last thing I forgot to announce was there are only two rules. One is you have to build Windows and Windows Phone application, which is kind of obvious. The second is you have to integrate with the Facebook login. You have to have some Facebook feature, even if it is as simple as you log into Facebook. But you have to do that. Okay, so let's say I am creating this Visual Studio. If you haven't seen it before, I go and say I want to create a new project, file, new project. And let's say I want to create a Windows Store project. I go and say I want to actually, no, not a C# project. I want to create a JavaScript project of type Windows Store. And I create a blank app, okay? And let me just call it. Okay. So what this will do is it will just take an app and yeah, let me bring this out. It just took a bunch of JavaScript files and an HTML file, and it just dumped in a directory. And Windows treats it like a full-fledged app, right? So I'm going to show you a website, and then I'm going to convert it to an app within 30 seconds. Let's go here, and then we go here. This, and here on the web, this is a game, okay? And this is called Yeti Bowl game. There are people climbing on top of the mountain, and the job of the Yeti is just to knock them down, okay? And if I switch on the sound, that's a pretty simple game, and it's running in a browser, right? Okay, so let's stop the browser here, and what we'll do is we'll copy everything from here, and just go over here and paste everything here. Yep, I want to do everything, apply to all items, save here. Okay, and then I will go to the manifest of this game and say instead of default, I want to use game.html as the startup page. And just run this thing. And what you're seeing is at this point of time, Windows loads the whole thing up as an app. It's a full screen app. It works pretty great. I mean, you can touch it, and you can see, touch controls and all, everything works. It's an app. That's it. You knew how to build a website. You know how to build an app. We made it really simple. And it is all, the good thing is it's all actually hardware accelerated. So your JavaScript is not just getting, running on in a sort of VM thing. It's actually directly running on the GPU. All the JavaScript that you did is running directly on the GPU. So it's awesome. OK. And this is the Windows portion of it, right? Let's close the solution, and let me show you file, new project. And let's create a Windows Phone at this point of time doesn't have JavaScript applications, but what they have is a mixed or hybrid model. So if we go here to Visual C#, pick up Windows Phone, and let me say I want to create a Windows Phone 5 HTML app. All right. So what this does is it will take a C# container and host a web control inside that. All the things apply here too. The JavaScript is accelerated and so on. So now here we have a Windows Phone container for the app. And there's a directory called HTML. And I'm going to just copy whatever I had from Control-C here, and then go here, and then Control-V here. Oops, Control-V. Or maybe I need to drag drop. 1 second. Yep. Copy. And here, unfortunately, we have this index.html, so we have to delete this and rename our file. Delete this, call this index, and run this. And what you will see when it runs is the exact same game. It will run the exact same, and now you have this app running as a Windows Phone app. Touch it, and it works, right? That's how it is. That's how easy it really is to build an app on Windows and Windows Phone if you're using JavaScript, right? Okay, so let's close that. And that's about JavaScript, and that's how you can get introduced if you have just website experience. Now, I will very quickly change gears, and now I'm coming over to the Facebook login. I'll showcase how to use the Facebook login in real code. And let's see. Again, this is using JavaScript. This is the one line you need to integrate Facebook login in a Windows app. That's it. You make a call saying, that's my login URL, and I want to go and authenticate against that. Before we go there, let me very quickly show you something. Where is my browser? How many, we already, I think, got a show of hands saying how many people have used Facebook login before here, right, in other apps. If you have used Facebook login on web, the way the login works is usually you are on a login on a web page and you say, hey, I want to authenticate with Facebook on this web page. So what happens is you come to a web page, you click a button, you go to Facebook, Facebook authenticates you, then you come back to your original page, right? In Windows, we did the exact same thing. What we did was, instead of actually going to a web page, when you return, Facebook is actually getting information saying a particular app has actually invoked the login. When you come back, you have to come back to an app. And so that was the work we did with Facebook, where instead of saying you are coming back to a website, you are coming back to an app in a very safe and secure manner. So that's what we did. And we did that using this API that we call Web Authentication Broker. And all it does is call this one function called authenticate async, and provides it just the start URL saying this is the URL that I'm using for authentication, and it passes in the app identifier. And the app identifier is something that we get out of this huge long function call that you see here, saying, for the app, get me the current application ID, and so on. So run this, and the UI is not the greatest. Hit the login with Facebook, go over the breakpoint, and you see this thing. You check this little box here saying, keep me logged in. You log in, and you will never see the login ever again. Because if you hit login with Facebook again, let's see, it'll come back to this page. So what you get is single sign-on. It is just similar to what you have used on iOS and Android and so on. Once you have logged in one app, you will never again see the dialog. All you will see is the authorized dialog saying, do you want allow so-and-so app to have access to blah, blah information, like your profile information and so on and so forth. OK. Now, on the Windows Phone side, things are UX-wise slightly different. And code-wise also, they're slightly different. So I will go over that in a little bit more detail. And for that, I need a neat little trick that I learned from Facebook people, which is using Git. OK. So what I did was I just created a blank Windows Phone project, and I'll show you, like, once it finishes running, all it does is brings up this empty dialog box saying, hey, you are on this blank page. Go ahead, do what you want. Then as the next step, what we do is, let me say I want to add a button to it. So I go ahead and I say, instead of this, I'm just adding more code here. So all I did was actually now, if I run this thing, you'll see is I just added a button, right? I mean, a simple button which does nothing. I mean, I can tap it all I want, but it does nothing. OK. So I'm going step by step because this takes a little bit of getting used to. And then remember when Dhiren was talking about how you can use the Facebook C# SDK to interact with Facebook using Windows and Windows Phone applications? So this is how you actually do this. This is Visual Studio here. And you can go to Tools, and then you can go to Library Package Manager here, and you can say Package Manager Console. And here at the bottom, you get a little console. And let's scroll down all the way. Here, it says PM, right? That's the package manager. And here you can type, like, install package facebook.client-pre. This is still in this is still in a little bit alpha phase, so you do the -pre, which is preview, and you hit this, and it's probably going to claim that it already has a bunch of things, so on and so forth, right? So that's it. You integrated the SDK like in your app. You didn't have to download, didn't have to go anywhere and do any manual steps and so on. You just ran that one command and it brought everything in, and it's set up. Okay. At this point of time, the SDK is just integrated. The login is still not there. So let's go to now step number 3. Oh, sorry, 4, which is whoa. Let me revert everything, and then what? Just 1 second. Looks like something. It doesn't like something. Okay. Okay, it is not liking it for whatever reason. Okay. Looks like I'm hitting a little bit of technical difficulty here. How do you? Does anyone know the command to completely nuke the whatever changes I made? 1 second. One second while I work my thing. One second, and we are nearly done there. Get reward. Yep. Yep. Just 1 second. Yep, that's what I did for a little bit of, okay, packages.config. Now it wants packages.config in Hackfest sample. What is a demo without a little bit of, fun? Okay, we got it. Okay. Okay, we are on step number 4. As I said, what fun is it, if it doesn't break a little bit? Okay. So now we have the, at this step, I will just show you, you hit the login with Facebook and you come to this little app. So one thing you have to realize is when the Facebook app on the Windows phone, it is not available on your, for you to download separately and install on your computer, right? It's available only on your phone. So how would you test it? The only way to test is literally you hook up your device to your computer, and then you deploy your app to the actual device, and then you look at the whole scenario where you log into the app with the Facebook, you hit the login button, you go to the Facebook app, and then you come back, right? So that's what the ideal would be, but Windows Phone team, and actually Taki there, he actually thought, no, this is not the right thing. What we should do is we should give you a simulator. The entire scheme for authentication is well published. The way it works is you log into your app, you go to your app, you say, I want to log into the Facebook app. You go from your app to the Facebook app, and then you come back, right? So the entire protocol is actually well documented. So they wrote a little sample where you can go and type in your token, your access token. And what happens is now you can deploy this little project to your own simulator without actually having a phone. So you go to the app, your app, click a login button. It'll go to this simulator. You type in your access token, and then you can get back to your app all within the simulator. You don't really need a device for testing all the time. All this code is, by the way, available online. So if you just, I guess, search for Taki Jaffrey, Facebook login, this will take you literally to the second link here. This is a blog post that explains this in great detail and tells you, and the code is actually right attached to the bottom. It goes over all the steps and so on. It says, right, get the code sample right here. So you can get this. So I mean, we will all be here even towards the end, till all the end. So you can come and ask us if you don't need the remember the URL, but it is there. So at this point of time, I have what I have done is I have gone from my app to the Facebook app. But if at this point of time I say, OK, I'm successful, now go back here, your code will break. Why is it breaking? The reason it is breaking is because you went from your app to the Facebook app. And when you come back, you actually have to have an event handler to handle the fact that someone else is calling you back. The way you do that is, and I realize I'm running through a little bit. And I hope it's not causing the same problem again. OK. Reload all. And I'll show you the code in 1 second, how it actually works. OK, so on and so forth, run, run, run. So now if you hit login with Facebook, you actually go to the app, you hit success, and you'll come back and to the original app. And I hope, yeah. So now you have gone through the whole flow of going from your app to the Facebook app back to the original app, right? Let's just look very quickly at the code, because just running it through the scenario is not going to help very much. OK. On the Windows Phone side, once you have downloaded the NuGet, this is the 2 lines of code that you need to integrate Facebook with your Facebook login with your app. That's it. Can you see it all the way through? Maybe I should increase the font a little bit. 150% or maybe 125%. All you do is you create a class called Facebook Session Client. You pass in the app ID. Then you say facebook.fb.login with app. You pass in the permissions that you need. That's all that is needed for you to be able to log in into the Facebook app. That's how simple it really is. Using the Facebook C# SDK, using the NuGet that I just showed you. And what this does, it literally, I mean, it sets the app ID and so on and invokes your app so that it goes to the other side. It goes to the Facebook side. Now, when you're coming back, this is like one part. You went from your app to the Facebook app. The second portion of it is you have to write this little piece of code called map URI, which says, whenever someone invokes me back, invoke this function. And there you can take out your, you create another thing called Facebook session. Then you say, when someone has called me back, they will pass me a query string, pass the query string, and eventually you can extract the token out of that. If you get stuck at this stage, just come talk to us. I know, this is a little bit tricky, like, oh, what is going on here? But just come back and talk to us. There are a bunch of Microsoft people here. Can everyone from Microsoft just stand up and raise their hand so people know who we are? There are that many Microsoft people. And can Facebook people also raise their hands, please, so that we know Dhiren there. Dhiren is there, and a couple more people will join us later. Yep. So if you need help, we are here. So that's kind of the end of my demo. And go ahead and hack, as they said in the Hunger Games movie, right? May the odds always be in your favor, right? At the end, Paras, by the way, Paras is from here, Nokia. He's a Nokia developed ambassador, and he's going to talk for a couple of minutes to showcase what Nokia offers for developing Windows and Windows Phone apps. So I'm just plugging this in. And perfect. Just let me take this out.
You can.
That's just a clicker.
Oh, but I need the clicker though for the part.
Oh, sorry, man. There's only one thing, either this or that.
I'll just copy this quickly. Hold on.
OK, or you can, yeah, sure. The clicker is right there.
And then how do I put it up there?
It's just window P.
Oh, okay, just okay. You remove that.
Can we project this screen again back on the screen, this computer? As soon as he's done.
All right, everyone. Yeah, sure.
Someone asked whether you have to do brand new apps or whether you can, just add the features to an existing app. And to be fair to everyone, the rule is that you have to create a brand new app. You can use any open source tool out there. You can use any open source library. Feel free. If you have assets, beforehand, that's fine. But the code should be developed in here. That is just so it is fair to everyone. And that's what our rules say. That's what our lawyers made us write there.
All right, thank you, Sanjeev. So I'm here to talk about Nokia's developer rewards program, Develop. And I know a bunch of you are already familiar with it, but for the people who don't know, can I see a raise of hands? How many people already know about Develop? Quite a few. All right, good. So first of all, I'll start with my introduction. My name is Paras Vadera. I'm a Nokia developer ambassador based here in Silicon Valley. I get to promote Windows Phone development, same as Sanjeev and all the other folks here from Microsoft. So if you have any development questions, also feel free to email me. There's my email address. Develop is Nokia's developer rewards program. So I'm here to tell you what you can do on Develop, what you can get out of Develop. Develop has several challenges. You can complete challenges, you can complete quizzes, and even write new games and apps and earn points using completing these challenges. What you do with these points is you earn rewards. Currently in Develop, there are over $5 million of rewards live in Develop. So if you earn points, you can get rewards. Rewards like Nokia Lumia phones, gift cards for these and many, many more online retailers or physical retailers, Xboxes, Surface tablets, headsets, whatever technology-related stuff you like, we have those in the rewards. There's a YouTube video there's linking to, so I'll skip that for now. Very quickly, here's the link you can use to sign up. Once you sign up, you link it with your Windows Phone Store account once you're signed up as a developer. And I have Windows Phone Store tokens. So if you're new to development and you don't want to pay the $19 registration fee, I have tokens I can give out. You can sign up, link your registration with Develop account, and start earning points. Quickly pointing out App Studio. So if you're brand new to development, you don't know how to code, you can use App Studio to write apps for Windows Phone. You do not need to know any kind of coding beforehand. It's from Microsoft. Go sign up at apps.windowsstore.com and start writing Windows Phone apps. Also, I have a special promotion for brand new developers here today. If you're a first-time Windows Phone app developer and you make an app and put it in the store, you have to make the app during the weekend. You can put it in the store later on. You can get a free Windows Phone device from me to take home and keep it and play with it and write more apps on. So if you're interested at all, come contact me. I'll be around. I have my business cards if you want to take them. And also, there's a sweepstakes that runs every month where you can submit your Windows 8 and Windows Phone apps to win up to $1,000 every month. Some people here have already won these, and you can enter those as well. And that's pretty much it from now, and start coding.